In this video, we're going to be talking about 10 things that you agreed to before you ever came into this earth. We're going to be talking about soul contracts, the outline of who you really are so that you can remember who you truly are within, that you are not just this body. Remember the things that you agreed to. So let's talk about 10 things that you agreed to before you ever came to this earth. In this video, we're going to be talking about soul contracts and 10 things that you agreed to, 10 soul contract facts that you agreed to before you ever came to this earth. All right, so we're going to overview these 10 soul contract facts, but a soul contract is basically an outline of what your life is going to look like, the things that you need to happen in your life to advance and progress your soul. Right? We have this karma that's going across multiple lives, across our different incarnations, and a soul contract is meant to make sure that we're addressing the karma, we're addressing the lessons, we're addressing the things that we need to advance our soul. So let's go ahead and get into these 10 facts and the 10 things that we agreed to before we came here. Let's start with number 1. You chose basic details about yourself, like your name, your date of birth, and there's a reason for this. All of these little aspects of where we start tend to shape our life. Okay? Where you're born, who your parents are, what your name is, they shape our life in a way that these are now things that we have to react to, right? And so your date of birth, where you're from, all of these things are things that we are now going to have to address throughout our entire lives. They're little tiny lessons that are going along the way. And so it might seem like, hey, this is something my parents chose for me, but it's something that you determined way before you came here. And that will kind of be a recurring theme in all of these facts about your soul contract is they all really have a purpose. Going back to remembering who you are and remembering the lessons that you need to learn to continue to grow and really identify with your true self. Getting into number 2, your soul family is meant to be here to help you with healing and help you progress. So you're going to be incarnating with people maybe once or maybe a lot of different times, and that soul family that you have is meant to help you heal, meant to help you progress that karma, meant to help you progress and grow and adapt and advance as a soul. And so you're going to be learning lessons with that soul family that perhaps you didn't learn in the last life, or maybe it's just something you need to learn in this life, but it's lessons and healing that needs to happen with that soul family. So for example, maybe you have a lesson with parents and you need to learn forgiveness, right? Or maybe you have lessons with a partner and you need to learn patience. But these are lessons that you're going to have throughout your life that if you don't learn in this life, you're going to have that same thing come up in your next soul contract and your next incarnation. And so understand that your soul family is going to be there to agree upon, hey, this is what I'm meant to be in your life, and this is what lessons you're meant to be in my life. All right? Let's get into number 3. Your life events will help you with healing. So just like the people in your life are meant to be lessons, are meant to be these presences that are helping you grow and helping you heal and helping you advance. You're choosing these people, hey, this is the right person for this incarnation this is going to happen with them, and I'm going to learn this lesson if I react accordingly, if I react appropriately and according to my contract. But the same thing is happening with the life events. Different things will happen, whether it's from the people in your life or globally or whatever. Let's take, an example on a broad scale, right? What's happening and what's happened this year with the pandemic, for example. That might be a life event that a lot of us agreed to because we need to learn to advance our soul. We need to learn this is something that we need to awaken human consciousness, to advance a lot of people at the same time. But life events on a small scale, on a grand scale, are here to help you with healing, whether they be difficult, traumatic life events that we are here trying to learn, trying to heal. They might be things that we weren't able to get over in a past life. They might be things that are karmic in the sense that this is something that we presented, unfortunately, to someone else in a past life. And now we're learning that lesson ourselves in this life. I did this damage to someone else last life, and now I need to learn the actions and the mistakes that I made in that life now in this life. That life event that's happening is something that is for my betterment, it's for my good, and it's happening for me, not to me. Now, let's get into number 4, which is you have free will. Ultimately, you still have free will. You have this overarching destiny that you're supposed to, have this contract that you're supposed to fulfill, and everything is happening for a reason and all of that. But within that framework, you still have free will to choose different actions. You still have this free will to go this way or go that way, or follow this contract or not follow this contract. You still have this free will to make the right choice or make the wrong choice. But understand that within that free will, there's this overarching destiny that you still have to accomplish, whether in this lifetime or the next. Getting into number 5 of the things that we agreed to before we ever came here, you choose your death. Very often that death has a reason for it. The way that we die, the method, any suffering that might be accompanying it, all of that ties into these soul lessons that you're trying to learn. Understand that these lessons are all happening for a reason. And that will really bring me to number 6, in that you are not alone. You have access during this whole time to your spirit guides, to that source energy, to your guardian angels. You have access to them. You have access to help throughout this lifetime. All you have to do is remember. Remember who you really are. Remember where you're really from. Remember that you are not just this body. And once you start to remember that you're not really just this body, you can start to behave accordingly. You can start to reach out and say, hey, I need help with this. Hey, this is a lesson that I'm trying to learn, but please guide me in what the right answer is. Now, number 7 is that synchronicity is happening and occurring to guide you. And so synchronicities are these signs from our angels, are these recurring themes and things that are being pointing us in the right direction, whether it's angel numbers or spirit animals or something that's happening all the time to kind of point us in the right direction and teach us and show us where it is that we need to go. Now, continuing on, I want you to remember number 8 is you can break a soul contract. However, understand that if you're going to go against the things that you outlined for your highest good beforehand, you're going to end up having to learn those lessons later down the road. So it is not typically self-serving to break the things that you agreed upon before coming here. And, making the wrong choices will only eventually lead to having to deal with that circumstance, with that person, with whatever it is later down the road. And very often you're going to have to deal with it twofold, threefold, in a more prominent way. So my suggestion is this is not something that you want to do. Number 9, I want you to remember you can clear karmic debt. Now you can clear it by doing the actions that it is that you need to learn, or you can do it by taking control of your life and making sure that you are making all the right choices, that you are reaching out with love, that you are doing the things that are meant for your highest good and connecting and going within as often and as deeply as possible. At the end of this, I want to kind of go through an affirmation that I want to share with you guys on how we can, within ourselves, clear some of that karmic debt that maybe we're holding on to in this life, or things that we're holding on to that are no longer serving our highest good, but we're still holding on to it. And that leads us to my final soul contract fact, and is that you can clear ancestral agreements. So often we have these things that are tying us down and holding us down that aren't even coming from us, but are coming from our grandparents, our great-grandparents, way down the road, things that are holding us down and are keeping us almost a slave to these things that no longer serve our highest good. And so I'm going to share with you guys now, and I'm going to put it in the comments, a affirmation to help clear this karmic debt and clear ancestral agreements. This is a powerful affirmation here that should be helpful in clearing that karmic debt and your ancestral agreements. Again, this is really just kind of the things that you're holding on to that don't serve you. This doesn't mean that you're getting rid of the lessons, the soul lessons that you need to learn, the agreements that you have in your soul contract. This is freeing yourself from things that are no longer serving you. And I want you to go into the description, read this, repeat it, close your eyes, repeat it again. But it's very simple. I am free. I am divine. I'm the master of my own creation. I reclaim my natural power and co-create my reality with Source. With the power of my higher self, I choose true light and divine love for my higher self and myself. I hereby forgive all these debts and erase the karma. Hopefully, guys, that helps understand your soul contract, the things that you agreed to before you ever came down here. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. You can follow me on different platforms. Those are described in my bio. And as always, stay blessed.